Hello and welcome to the Talk Amongst Yourselves pod, the pod where we talk amongst ourselves and encourage you to talk amongst yourselves.
Is that the saying now?
What? I don't know.
Is that the catchphrase?
No, it's just the beginning.
But you've said it every episode like it's the thing to
Because
say.
I've given very little. No, that's not fair. Not very little. I've given no thought to what I'm going to say when it starts up.
It's
and
a
so
simple
I panic.
introduction.
I panic and I fall back on.
You panic and
words.
go to the same thing every week.
Yeah, because that's what you do when you panic. You don't try new things. Nobody's ever been like, I'm panicking. Let me do something I've never done before.
Let me think outside the box. So
Where's the box?
I'm jumping out. So yes, this is Talk Amongst Yourselves podcast. My name is Kev.
I'm Flows.
And welcome to another episode.
Episode 4.
We're not numbering them.
We're not numbering them. Shit. Episode X.
Episode redacted.
Episode D. See, that's letters. Nice.
The full letter.
We're not numbering them. It's just episodes.
It's episode whatever you want it to be. It'll be the title of whatever funny thing we say.
Yeah, we'll come up with a title afterwards.
Some of them have been quite offensive.
Have they?
Yeah, I'm familiar with her wares.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant some of the ones that we've used.
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with her. Although, I'm thinking back on it now, I don't think it is. I don't think it was.
I think that was an opportunity missed.
Especially as we didn't actually name anyone.
No, yeah.
We were just like, I'm familiar with her wares.
But no, I know that was it. It was because it started off with, I don't know her, or I don't know her. That was it. I don't know her name, but I'm familiar with her wares, or something.
Oh
like that.
yeah, Cinnabuns.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cinnamon. She's probably retired by now. Those videos had a grainy quality about them.
OG Pum. So obviously the only place to start would be the tragic news of Kobe.
The untimely passing of, yeah.
The hero of yours, some might say.
Yeah, he was. It's funny, I've been thinking about it because my aunts got me into basketball. They play basketball. That's why I started playing. In terms of watching basketball, Shaq got me into basketball, and I followed him where he went.
Yeah.
And then he got to the Lakers. Like I say, I followed him where he went. It was only like 2 years because, I was a fucking little kid. But then he went to the Lakers, so I was like, fuck it, I'm with the Lakers now.
Yeah.
And then he was awesome. And then this other dude came about, Kobe Bryant. And I didn't really pay any attention at first. I couldn't really watch basketball anywhere at first either. And he was just a fucking sensation. It was just a fucking sensation. I don't remember. I've seen since. His first game was awful.
Really?
Yeah, his first game was awful. They only brought him on because they had no other option. Like 2 players have fouled out. No, 2 players had injured. Shaq had fouled out or something like that, and he was just throwing air balls. Like he was just trying. But yeah.
But that's testament to the man, though, isn't it? He was one of those he's evidence that commitment over talent can sometimes be the better.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even a top draft pick. No. He was 13th, 14th, something like that for the Charlotte Hornets, and they immediately traded him to the Lakers. I'm like, fuck that guy. Obviously, they had agreements in place and stuff like that. But there's no doubt that he was talented, but he pulled himself to a whole other level. Like the amount of stories that you hear, and I used to love reading the stories about him. I remember, I can't remember who the player was now, but somebody was like, oh, we're playing the Lakers that evening. So I was like, I figured I'd get there. I'd heard Kobe liked to go early and get practicing. I figured I'd go early and get some practicing as well. So it was like when I got there, Kobe was already there. Don't know how long he'd already been there for. It looked like he was just finishing. So it was like I started, Kobe's still there. I'm carrying on and I'm like, I can't leave before him. And it went on and on and on for 3 hours or something like that. And finally it was like, nah, fuck this, I got to go. And then he later found out that the only reason Kobe didn't leave was because he didn't leave. But it's just things like that. And funny ones where one night when the team lost, he took everybody's Kobe trainers. He was like, you don't deserve these, you're soft.
Oh, wow.
But he and off the court as well. Off the court was just, and it, when he got towards the end of retirement, speaking bare languages, just pushing himself in everything he did.
Yeah, he threw himself into anything, didn't he?
Yeah, completely. It's won an Oscar, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly. It goes to show what kind of level he reached I mean, I'm not a fan of basketball,
Mm-hmm.
but even
know
from
who
a
he
young
is,
age,
right?
I knew who Kobe Bryant was.
Exactly.
Everyone knows who Kobe Bryant was, and everyone's eulogising about him.
Yeah. I equate him to like it's a Cristiano Ronaldo, even a David Beckham. I'd say David Beckham more for the status that he reached. I mean, not to say David Beckham didn't work hard. I'm sure he did, but he really put the work in and made sure that he did. Like apparently he funded some basketball players when they had the lockout for salary to protest against salary caps, and yeah, hero of mine. All right, we know wasn't 100%.
Yeah, he's got a checkered past.
He's got a checkered past, which I mean I don't know. I guess it is important when you remember someone, you remember them
As a whole,
in their entirety, but. I would say it's not so much people aren't remembering the person, they're remembering what the person meant to them.
Yeah.
Like when I remember Kobe Bryant, of course I'm thinking of some great moments that I saw him playing, but also I'm just remembering how it felt to watch him play, how it felt when I read stories about him, how it felt when I saw stuff. So like, I don't get this whole, maybe I do, or maybe I'm just turning a blind eye to people that are just seems like they're purposefully being contrary.
Yeah.
Just like, remember he was a rapist. It's like, all right, but that I wasn't there for that. I'm not. That's not one of my memories of him.
Yeah.
It's I wouldn't say he was a perfect human being.
Who is that?
Who is and it's not like downplay and say what happened and what he did wasn't important or should be brushed under the carpet. But there's something to be said for like redemption, right?
Yeah.
And
we,
it was sorted.
We've even mentioned that on this podcast.
Yeah.
People shouldn't be cancelled in air quotes. They should be redeemed.
Yeah. He's
probably certainly someone who has redeemed himself with everything he's done since.
I think he would, and like I say, that black mark will always be there against his name, but does it always have to be like, yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, rest easy. I mean, it goes without saying because once you're buried, you rest easy, don't you?
You're not being interrupted. Yo, you know what's messed up as well? Like, him and his wife would never travel in a helicopter together, just in case something like this happened.
Vindication.
Yeah. I mean, I think in this place she wasn't going to go anywhere anyway, but like apparently they had some kind of pact that like they would never travel together, because so they wouldn't leave like the kids like fucking orphaned.
I heard something similar about whoever has the recipe for the secret herbs and spices for KFC.
There's two of them, and they're never allowed to travel
together. They never travel together.
Yeah, like the president and the vice president.
Yeah, but anyway, enough moping.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I won't spend too much time
I've actually
on
got a
it.
surprise for you.
What is it?
We've only got a fucking email.
I know. I know we have.
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise, really, is it?
Yeah.
I wonder who could have said that.
This is from Barbara in Essex. I think you should invite your mums on the show as guests. Blessings.
Maybe one day.
No,
it would be hilarious. It'd be hilarious, mate.
Well, for starters, you're not getting my mum anywhere near a train.
We'll do an episode on the road, but just to hear the two of you argue for like an hour would just be worth it, because that's all it'd be.
It would be an award-winning episode, I must admit.
I mean, we will have guests at some point, I assume.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, it would be good. But we'll come back to you. Barbara, we have seen your email.
We acknowledge it.
Yeah, and we've been calling out for people to email, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we will file you away for later use.
You are archived.
Archived.
What are we going to be talking about?
What are we going to be talking about? Well, I think there's only one thing that we really can talk about, because it's all anybody's talking about aside from Kobe.
What's that?
Beer.
Oh, beer.
Beer sickness.
Oh, yeah. Corona and Lyme disease.
Oh, that was we will go through those later.
Oh,
we're going to name all of them later. Like, we'll pull those up.
The group chat went off.
It popped. The group chat popped. Yeah. I'm going to be the first one to throw it out there and say I don't care.
No.
All right, not that I don't care. It's I've heard there's people in China are dying and stuff like that. But I'm just tired of this whole scaremongering when something like this hits.
It's yet another thing that's scaring people into certain situations. Because at first it was Iran, although that's not really going away. Then it's I'm sure something else came up before then, but now it's this killer disease.
Well, on my side, it's the fact that there was mad cow disease, then there was
Yeah,
SARS, then there was avian flu, then there was Ebola. Now it's like, it's, and like I say, for the people that are going through it and the people that are being affected by it, like hoping that things get sorted out and stuff like that. But we do not need this constant, like, I remember somebody put, like, in America, like, people are going mad. There's been no cases in America at all, and people are acting like it's, like, right there in their fucking sitting room.
It's like people who check themselves in on Facebook when there's been an atrocity in another country.
Yeah,
and you're sitting in Dagenham like, I'm safe.
I'm safe.
I'm watching Jezza, I'm safe.
I'm safe from that earthquake that just hit Cuba.
But having said earthquakes, this kind of
the wrestler. Oh, sorry, no.
The typhoon, natural disasters.
Yeah,
what
bro.
A rich pairing.
Wee. Anyway,
earthquakes, tsunamis, all this shit happening at the same time as the coronavirus. Maybe it's like nature's way of telling us that we need to
fuck off,
or fix up.
I feel like nature's like, nah, it's not even about fixing up. You're gone.
Yeah.
You're cancelled.
I'm tired of this shit.
I'm cancelling the human race.
All this happening at once is nature's table flipping. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
It is losing a monopoly through no fault of its own because everyone else is cheating.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, I'm not having it.
I mean, I'm slightly worried.
I'm not slightly worried in the slightest.
Wait, so are you? Or?
No, go on, why are you worried?
Because I happen to work in a place that has a lot of overseas students, and a good chunk of them are from China.
Yeah, but have they been there recently? Are they from the area of Wuhan?
I heard a story from the health and safety people here that someone is in a relationship with someone from Wuhan.
Ooh, yeah, but can you get it from bumping uglies?
Probably. There's a distinct possibility that might happen.
I don't know. I mean,
it's fluid
you can't
transfer,
get.
isn't it?
No, is it? I know it's airborne, but you can't get herpes from sneezing. So why would it go the other way around? I don't know the medical soundness
Damn
of
it,
that.
Jim, I'm not a doctor.
Exactly. Saying that, I just downloaded Star Trek to watch again randomly.
Never seen it.
It was alright. That reboot. I wasn't the biggest fan of the original. I used to watch Next Generation a bit.
Was one of them like a spoof or a comedy?
What do you mean?
Like one of the series, it was a bit of a...
Well, one of the film series or one of the TV series?
TV series.
Are you thinking of the Seth MacFarlane series that came out?
No.
I don't know enough about the series.
I think it might be Next Generation.
No, Next Generation was like the Bang Bang. That was Picard, bruv. That was Patrick Stewart in his finest gear.
But I'm pretty sure I've seen clips from it where it's like there's like goofy music in the background and
probably people like fucking with it. And to be honest, like I say, I remember I watched quite a bit of Next Generation. I think it used to be on BBC Two or something like that.
We have spent far too much than I wanted to on Star Trek. I'll be honest with you.
What? You can never spend enough time on Star Trek.
Yeah,
mate, it covers an entire fucking galaxy. Are you that smart? You can cover an entire galaxy in like 30 seconds.
I just don't want to.
It's a federation of starships. Coalition of the willing.
Got a motherfucking coalition of the willing. Trying to get that oil. Oh!
No, wait, why did we get onto Star Trek?
Oh, no.
But anyway, so yeah, what has that got to do with the coronavirus?
There was a phrase, a reference.
No, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, you said, yeah. And then I mentioned Star Trek that I'd watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're a little bit worried. I mean, and to say that there's one person here, there's a fuckload of people.
No, that's what I'm saying.
There's
a lot.
There's a minor chance that you'll come into contact with that person who has been into contact with another person.
That's how it works, bro.
Yeah, but is it going to get to you? And honestly,
well,
like, we've got the NHS for now. Like, hopefully this coronavirus is gone before we lose the NHS, because then we're fucked.
I guess so. But they're bringing people who are suspected as being infected with it. They're bringing them back to Britain, and they're quarantining them.
Oh yeah. Because I think British Airways cancelled all their flights. British Airways have cancelled all their flights to and from China. And I mean, these aren't necessary precautions. I'm not saying there doesn't need to be precautions, but I'm just saying you and I don't think we're at a point where we need to be fucking like barricading ourselves in and stocking up on the tinned food.
I do agree with you that there's a lot of fuss over not very much at the moment.
It's just like news outlets trying to push more news. Like, since we've had like 24-hour news, they have to talk about something. and it's annoying as well.
That annoys me.
What? 24-hour news?
Yeah, or even on the radio. One of the reasons I don't listen to radio anymore is because every half an hour there's a news update. And it's the same as it was half hour ago.
Yeah.
What has happened in half an hour
Nothing.
that you need to say it again?
Nothing.
Stupid.
And it's things like this whole thing that came out like now is like, oh, it's because people were eating bat soup. Like one random story came out because somebody said it might have something to do with that, but we don't think it's directly, it's not directly because people are eating bats, but we think it might have come from bats through something else.
Because bats have a natural immunity to certain diseases. That's what I read today.
Yeah, but then they're saying even if it did come from bats, it wasn't eating them. It's like passed from bats to something else and then to people. Yeah. So I'm like, but now everybody's like, yeah, bat soup caused it. Did it? Did bat soup cause it?
Facebook army.
Yeah.
It's bat soup.
It's bat soup. It's bat soup. Everybody, Heinz bat soup. They're recalling it from Tesco's.
Don't watch Batman anymore. We're boycotting Batman.
We're boycotting Batman. If England cricketers go up to bat, I'm not part of it. I'm not part of it, mate. I'm not part of it.
Michi Batshuayi. No.
No. I'm not too sure about him. Didn't think much of him anyway.
Sell him. Sell him anyway. Fucking waste, man.
But yeah, I mean, like again, it's a serious thing. It needs to get sorted, but I don't think we're at the
bat soup.
Bat soup. But anyway, I'd like to move on to.
Go on.
Coronavirus. And it's amazing there's a few people around that think that coronavirus is something to do with the beer. And while I've enjoyed the memes, don't be fucking idiots.
Yeah, don't be stupid.
To be honest, Corona are missing a marketing opportunity here. I mean, their name's getting out there anyway, but they could just be like 50p from every fucking bottle sold goes towards research for this to cure this. People will be on it.
Oh, you were thinking more along a humanitarian side of things.
I'm not thinking of like...
Hey, Corona!
Yeah, remember us?
Remember us? We're the good Corona.
They could do that. It's like not all Coronas are bad, and then just a picture of the beer. But
this is only killing you slowly.
We did go through a few names.
Stellanoma was my favourite.
Stellanoma was hilarious. I liked Budweiser.
Budflu. Holston Eels was another one.
Classic Holston Eels. Flu dog.
Red strep throat. I just thought of.
I didn't get Carlingus.
I didn't get Carlingus.
Is that a thing?
What about Castlemania? Did you get that one?
Well, I was thinking like mania is in like a psycho. Yeah. I got that one, like as in like a psychosomatic kind of, like mania, as in like mania is a thing. Yeah, that wasn't bad. Strong BO.
Strong BO was my.
That was good. Yeah. That was good. It takes a little bit to get there, but it was good. And then obviously we just moved on to footballers. Matt Letizia.
Paul Poxbar.
Victor Lindekoff.
Oh, we missed a trick with that one. Smallpox bar.
Oh, smallpox bar. Yeah.
And Joe Cold. Ashley Cold.
Ashley Cold.
Andy Cold.
Andrew Cold, thank you.
Sorry.
Oh.
Good times.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see how this thing develops. But like they say, Wuhan Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Not anymore.
Yeah. I genuinely think, like with all the other ones that have come before it, it'll be gone soon. Like, what happened with Ebola? Like, literally nothing. They just stopped talking about it. Just stopped talking about it.
The one in Brazil. What was that one?
What was the one in Brazil?
It was in the flyers, and they were going...
Zika
virus, yeah.
Zika virus. I forgot about Zika virus. Exactly the same thing, again and again and again and again. And then, obviously, you got your usuals like, they're trying to force us into getting vaccines. No, they're not, because the fucking vaccines that they give your kids, nobody said that coronavirus will be protected by vaccines. Yeah. They're trying to scare you into getting it. Well, if you're scared enough to get it, then get it.
Get it, innit?
Get it. And I just I don't understand the anti-vaccine thing. I genuinely don't. Like, what is one day, are they going to flick a switch and we're all going to be brain mesmerised?
Don't get me started on that. I know people who are against it.
Mm. Yeah, I do.
And you wonder why the kids grow up and be proper ill all the time, got asthma, breathing problems, and it's because they refuse to get They refuse to put their health first, basically.
I just I don't see any great arguments for it. It's like, oh, it gives people autism. I don't think it does. I think you find autism was around longer than
autism
vaccines.
gives people autism.
I think that's what gives people autism. It's being born with autism is what gives people autism.
Yeah. They don't get injected in one day, like.
But that's the thing, like, with anything.
Sorry for that autism impression.
With anything, do you know what? There could be like 0.01% of the time a kid injected with a vaccine has latent autism and it might bring out, I don't know, I'm not a fucking doctor, but like it's not like we've seen like numbers where you're saying like 20% of people that have been vaccinated have developed autism. Like it's mad. But anyway,
coronavirus, don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry.
You'll go soon.
Apparently you can kill it with alcohol and heat, so have a corona for your corona.
Corona and Lyme disease. Did you see in the news Daniel Kaluuya, what he said?
I did see that this afternoon. I only saw it this afternoon, but I haven't. Let me bring it up. I saw the quote.
Yeah.
But obviously, I didn't want to jump to any conclusions before I read it.
To be honest, I was relying on you to have known about it.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
because I'm black.
Because you're black, yeah.
Oh,
basically,
fair.
He said he's bored of talking about racism and race.
Mm-hmm. And I completely understand that. Sometimes I'm bored of talking about racism and race.
I'm exhausted by it.
But no, don't get me wrong. It's still something that needs to be talked about. But not everybody is up for it. Not everybody's up for it. And obviously, he's in a position where he is asked questions by media a lot, and they want to get, they want a story out of it. So he probably gets questioned about it a lot. Like I think it must be frustrating for your work and the thing that you do to always be framed in that light.
This is a gripe I have with it. Just reading it now, he just says, I'm not defined by it. And what you've just said there, because he's black, he has to get asked questions about it constantly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at like Black Panther, which obviously it was a very big black film, so that's the thing. But like, you could give a great performance in Black Panther, but it's always going to come secondary to the talk of race.
Yeah. How would you feel? How do you feel being in a mostly African American or African cast?
Yeah.
Kind of questions that.
Yeah, and again, you get asked these questions over and over, and it's not a bad question to ask. I'm sure they had opinions on it, and I'm sure very proud of it. But if you're in a film, or if you're doing, if you're bringing out an album or whatever, and you're doing like hundreds upon hundreds of interviews, and these interviews don't really deviate. They ask the same questions over and over and over again. Yeah, it's like, did you ever see when The Star Is Born came out? Somebody did like a supercut of Lady Gaga, and there was this question about, I don't even remember the question. It was basically a question about Bradley Cooper hiring her to be in it, and she literally gave the same answer, almost word for word, every single time. And she was like, oh, you go out and you get 29 no's, but then the 30th one is a yes, and then it opens the door for you, blah, blah, blah. And people were criticizing her. They were like, say something original, be original. But like, give her an original question.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
If you're going to ask her a question that demands that answer, she's going to give that answer. She's not going to say, oh, butter and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And
yeah. And, why would you, like, you're tired and bored. It's like you were saying about me doing the intro to this at the beginning. She's like, well, I've said that. All right, that was fine. It went down well. Why not just say it again? Like, why are you going to struggle to answer that question in 100 different ways? Why should you have to?
I commend their patience.
Yeah.
I would not stand for it.
No, and some people don't. You ever seen Tommy Lee Jones? Google Tommy Lee Jones awkward interviews. He gives 0 fucks.
I'll say my favourite Tommy Lee Jones moment is when he bumped into Jim Carrey in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Batman and was it Batman Forever?
Batman Forever, yeah. And he did not like him.
He goes, I cannot condone your buffoonery. He said that to his face.
But that's the thing.
He was like, "Oh man, I hate you. I really don't like you."
I don't think Tommy Lee Jones has ever lied to anyone about how he feels about them. Like,
good for him though.
No,
I rate that. I rate that a lot.
And like I say, the conversations about race are not over. They're nowhere near over. But it must be frustrating. Like I say, I get bored of talking about it sometimes.
Yeah.
I get bored of having to be annoyed. I get bored of seeing stories about it. But like he is literally, like I say, he is defined by it. Like, I doubt there will be, go back through any pieces, any like opinion pieces, articles written about him. There will be something about it in the article. all right, I was a young black actor and that, and it's that's the frame. That's always the frame.
There's no other word for it other than boring, isn't it?
Yeah, it does, because like, again,
because if you want to read up, if you're a young actor, if you're a young black actor, say, and you're looking to these people for, like, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm going through all these Hollywood Reporter videos and watching like all these
the roundtables,
yeah, watching all, like, talk about their craft and how they get into it and their process and that. If I was to do that for an actor, and I would want to read up on him and study what he says, what he does, how he does things, and all I saw were questions about being black and race and racism, it would get annoying, and I'd have to question, what am I learning here?
Yeah, because you want to know more about them and again, it's something that, like, while I suppose it's done with,
because all they're learning is how to answer questions about racism.
Yeah, and to be honest,
and the things to say.
They still have to be, a lot of them still probably feel they're in a precarious position within the industry, so they have to be diplomatic about their answers. Like, he's come out and said, like, fine, fuck it, like, I'm gonna talk out about it, but and it's something that, like, all right, so yeah, for instance, you're doing a round table, you're a black actor doing a round table surrounded by, like, a load of other white actors, similar age, similar place in their career. And they're like, oh, Dave, like, how did you get into the mindset of, like, playing, like, King Henry, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, Dan, what stunts did you do for fucking the latest action movie that you're in? And, Mr. Kaluuya, how's it feel to be, like, a leading black actor in Hollywood? It's like, yeah, ask me my films. Like, I like,
ask how I prepared for it.
Ask how I prepared for it. Like, let's get to that stuff later. Like, ask about me as an actor doing my craft.
They're not really helpful then, to be fair, because I watched there was an actress one, and the first question was about the Me Too movement, and I think they said something like, we don't want to get too much into this, but then the whole hour was them talking about it. Yeah. It's like, talk about something else, please. I know, like, it's hard for me to say because privileged white guy.
Yeah, you can't say anything.
I can't say shit.
Shut the fuck up.
But what I will say...
No, but this is your opinion. Like, yeah, go on.
What I will say is, all this talk about it and bringing it to light, it's all well and good, but racists are going to racist. You're not going to teach them how not to be racist. But having said that, I believe it will become extinct.
No, it will. We're going through a time now where this is the turning point.
When, like, there'll be a
few generations from now.
No one will be talking about it.
Yeah, and we're just the ones that have to bear the brunt of it for it to get to that point.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what I say, like, it's conversations that do need to be had. There are things that do need to be said, but I can understand that it can be frustrating. It can be frustrating. And like I say, me as somebody that doesn't get questioned on it every fucking time I walk into a room and start a conversation with somebody, like, I'm sure he has to talk about it a lot more than I do. And even I get frustrated and bored of it sometimes. So,
This episode's gone quite deep.
It has.
Tits. Ass. Penis.
All right, can I bring something lighter? I want to bring you my
pitch?
Yeah. All right, I want to bring you my idea. And Dwayne Johnson, you've caused me great pain. I love you, dude, but you've caused me great pain. Dwayne Johnson is, now, we've obviously spoken before about how I dislike the whole tragic backstory of the villain and the focus on the villain and all that. Dwayne Johnson started it. He started it. And you know how he started it? By appearing in The Mummy Returns. Dwayne Johnson was in The Mummy Returns. Do you remember what the character he played? He was the giant fucking scorpion
King,
right?
Yeah.
And this is Dwayne Johnson. He's on his way up in acting. He's
first film.
Yeah. His first film. He's hot from WWE. Everyone likes him. So they're like, but everybody really, really, they responded well to.
He was the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
He was. I don't think anybody's ever been as electrifying since. Like, I mean,
man can give a look and everyone's like, ah.
Bruv, man couldn't even get through his speeches without the crowd just going mad.
Man can only raise one eyebrow.
Yeah.
And people love him for it.
Yeah.
It was the people's eyebrow.
It was the people's eyebrow. But then after he starred in The Scorpion King, they were like, oh, they love a bit of him. Let's get him in another film. But obviously, link it to the fucking Mummy Returns, because, ease it in gently,
That's
gently.
What he can do.
Yeah. So then they made the film The Scorpion King. Now the problem was, in Mummy Returns, he was essentially a bad guy.
Yeah.
And, fucking snapping people in half with his giant claws and stuff. They're like, well, We don't want to cast him as the bad guy. We want him to be like the new Hollywood Golden Boy. So then they made a film called The Scorpion King, which was the prequel and which showed him before he became the Scorpion King. And he was a good guy and he was a hero. And because it was Dwayne Johnson, everyone loved it. And it all went to fucking shit from there. And that's now why we have fucking Venom and Joker and all that kind of shit, and everybody, and Cruella de Vil's going to get a movie, and Maleficent's got a movie, all because Cruella de Vil.
No, Maleficent.
Yeah, she's got 2 movies even. Fucking all because one time they wanted to put Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in a movie, but they didn't have the balls to put him in his own movie, so they put him in a spin-off. Fuck that shit. Fuck it.
Okay. You wanted my reaction. Are you genuinely convinced that this is the origin of that?
I'm genuinely convinced. I mean, it took a little while to get going. I don't think they were like, oh fuck, there's something going on here. But someone looked at it and was like, well, it worked. As long as we cast somebody likable or somebody popular in that role, then they can be as evil as they fucking want, and everyone will love them.
Did Scorpion King get a cinema release?
Yeah, Scorpion King got a cinema release.
Okay. Because I
that was not straight to DVD, bro. That was a fucking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He doesn't go straight to DVD.
I don't know. Was there's a film I'm thinking of.
What
that
one?
might have been The Game Plan.
No, what with his little? That was a Disney film, bro. Disney, nah. That was a Disney film. The Game Plan when
He was in. Was he in The Tooth Fairy as well?
Yeah, he was. That got a sequel. He wasn't in the sequel though.
Stephen Merchant was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was.
That wasn't a bad film actually.
What, The Tooth Fairy?
The Tooth Fairy.
No, it wasn't. The Game Plan wasn't even that terrible. You know what to expect.
Yeah.
You know what to expect. The Game Plan and The Tooth Fairy were pretty much the same film. A guy with a kid.
That was him putting in the graft so he can get the San Andreas.
Yeah.
Rampage.
You have to go with the whole kind of like when you're a big guy in Hollywood, you got to do the I'm a big tough guy, but now I have to show my sensitive side.
John Cena's going through it at the moment.
Yeah, he's going through it right now, and this latest film, Playing with Fire, looks like absolute shit.
Of course it does.
Looks like absolute shit.
Yeah,
that went in the cinema.
What Game Plan?
Yeah, Game Plan went in the cinema. Oh, fucking hell. Budget 22 million. It made 146. The Game Plan did very well, sir.
I'll have you know it did very well,
It did very well.
Keegan-Michael Key's in that as well, isn't he? Not the Game Plan. He's in
Fire It Up. Playing with Fire. That's it. Yeah.
What's he doing?
Mate, do you know how disappointed I was? Because, like, I like to watch stuff with him in it. Because I'm like, oh, at least that's going to get... I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
I thought the two of them were getting well-deserved recognition. And they were being
Key and Peele,
and they were being in decent films.
Yeah, and then they started making their own films.
They was in Toy Story 4, for God's sake.
Yeah. I was like, all right, things are going on.
Things are going well. And then he takes this sort of bollocks.
I don't know why he's done that.
That and The Predator.
Oh yeah, but I like The Predator. That was just fun. Like, you can never ever make a serious Predator movie again. Like, you can't. No one's ever going to accept a Predator film that takes itself seriously.
Why?
Because they just compare it to the originals and they're just like, no, it's not as good. So it has to be a little wacky, a little bit tongue-in-cheek to be like, oh, we know we're not the original, but we're working with it.
It wasn't as good because it hasn't been thought of properly. It's just a quick money spinner because it's got the Predator name to it.
I thought it was a good film. I enjoyed it.
It's not shit, but it's not... Like, Predator was a horror film. Like, it was a actual horror film.
Nah, I'd say more of a thriller. A gory thriller.
It was labelled as a horror film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a little suspense. Yeah, but Alien is a fucking horror film.
Yeah.
That is very much a horror film. Confined spaces, very dark. Because that's the thing. Predator's not very dark. Like, I mean, in terms of, the actual, like, it takes
scary.
place.
You don't know where he is.
Yeah. But I still see it more as just like an action movie. Like, sci-fi action movie. But I don't Alien I see as a horror all day long.
Although I did like the whole conversation they had in The Predator where they was like, surely he'd just be a hunter. He's not a predator. Predator does it. Does it out of necessity. This is just for sport.
He's not a predator. Yeah. Like, he's just a hunter. Everybody knows the best bit of that film is the arm clasp. The muscles fucking bulging when they first link up. Like, that is like the most alpha male. Like, the beginning of that movie when they're all going to the jungle is like the most alpha male thing that you can ever do. You son of a bitch.
And then they
mad.
Arm wrestle in midair.
You
go. No, I won.
That's it. And like the most jacked dudes ever. Yeah. I think that's what the Predator films have been missing since then.
Jacked up.
Just like
roided up bastard.
Yeah, just like a whole cast, just full of dudes with no necks.
Just some geezer carrying a fucking minigun. Like,
Exactly. Nobody like what? Danny Glover in Predator 2, he wasn't strong enough to carry a minigun.
I watched Predator.
Yeah.
And then I thought, this is a great film. I'm going to watch the sequel. I watched the sequel.
Predator 2, Predator in the City.
Keep on predating.
The predatoring.
Just keep on predating. And it was just Danny Glover talking to himself the whole way through.
You see, I haven't watched Predator 2 for ages, and I can't work up the courage to watch
like,
it again, but I don't remember anyone else in that film apart from Danny Glover and the Predator.
What's his name? He was in Aliens. He died. What's his name?
What, Aliens is in the sequel?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't remember. Who was in the
Bill
sequel?
Paxton.
Oh,
Bill
Paxton.
Paxton's in
Yeah, Paxton. Paxton loved the sci-fi movie. He loved a good old sci-fi movie back in the
I swear
day.
he was in RoboCop as well, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't in RoboCop. Maybe one of the RoboCops. I don't think he was in the original one.
He was in a RoboCop. Pretty sure of it.
Probably, maybe. I mean, you know what?
Rest
in
peace. Because
peace.
it was the trifecta. I remember someone saying it was the trifecta. RoboCop, Aliens, and Predator.
Oh yeah, fuck, he was in Commando. Yeah.
Anyway.
Terminator. It was in Terminator.
Terminator.
It was in Terminator. I don't remember him in Terminator. It must have been a small role. Like, there's nobody's in Terminator apart from Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton. Yeah, and the other Michael Bean. Bain. Mr. Bain. Bain. You're listening to the Bean-ciation Hour.
This is the Bean-ciation.
You've now reached the Mr. Bean portion of our show.
But yeah, back to Predators. Predator 2.
Yeah.
Keep on predating.
Keep on predating. Yeah, it was Danny Glover.
The book of Predator. It was Danny Glover just talking to himself the whole way through. Like, he'd be on top of a building and he'd have to scale down a pipe. And he's like, gotta get down this pipe.
Dude, have you not realised that Danny Glover talks to himself in every movie he's ever been in?
But he's not a good actor then, is he? Because he's visibly trying to remember his lines and his actions.
I think you'll find that's known as a monologue, and only the best actors can do that. Saying that, did you hear the news?
No. It depends on what news you're talking about.
Well, obviously you didn't, because the fact that we're talking about Danny Glover, and I said, did you hear the news? They have actually, I'm pretty sure they've confirmed Lethal Weapon 5 with original cast.
Oh, wow. That's going to be
Nope, I'm ready for it.
That's going to be fun.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready to hear him say I'm too old for this shit.
And Mel Gibson going on some racist drunk tirade.
This is a problem. I was thinking about this because obviously we talked about Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes, I listened back and Mel Gibson was mentioned, and I thought, have people just forgotten about what he did?
But this is the problem, and this is the way, like, and it's the way we're conditioned by society, stuff like that. Like, Mel Gibson's a sick fucking, like, he's great in films.
Yeah.
And he's a sick fucking director. He's
he's
an awful person, so am I allowed to enjoy it?
He's another Tom Cruise. He's a weird, awful person. But
oh, yeah.
movie star. Straight up movie star.
I was genuinely about to go, oh, what's wrong with Tom Cruise? And then I remembered the stuff.
Even all the things he's done.
I mean, for me, like, all right, like, I just feel like, should I be excited that, like, I'm happy that there would be a Lethal Weapon 5 and I would want to watch it, but I feel I should be against the idea of him being allowed to be in it in the first place. Like, I'm against the idea of him being in it, but if they make it, I'm going to watch it. Fuck it. I still listen to R. Kelly. I don't care. Like, I equate it like that. I separate the artist from their work.
You still listen to the R. Kelly remixes of Michael Jackson songs.
With Rolf Harris on bass.
On the fucking didgeridoo, man.
Yeah. The kid's not my
Did you see him not too long ago? He was just wandering around a school playground.
That can't be real.
What? It's real. It was in the news.
About?
He was just randomly walking in a school playground. Like,
I forgot he got released from jail.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
People were like, "What are you doing?
Why are you there?
You are Rolf Harris. Get away from the school."
Bro, you know what? I can't even lie though. Like, out of all the U-Tree stuff, like, Rolf Harris hurt me the most. Rolf Harris hurt me the most. That dude entertained me.
He was of our time.
Yeah, but he entertained me. So yeah, but there was other guys that were of our time.
He was talented as fuck, right?
Dude, his art, it was fucking great. And then not only was his art great, he went and made Animal fucking Hospital. Do you know how many lives of how many animals he pretended to save for the cameras?
Poor little chip.
But he was like our Bob Ross. Like...
You do not...
No, not anymore. No, not anymore. But at the time, he was our Bob Ross. Bob Ross is like, yo, he's wholesome and pure. Like, I can't fuck with.
Pure as the driven snow.
Yeah. I read so many things about him now. Like, you know, it's always on the internet.
I've seen a picture of him when he was in the army.
I saw that picture, bro. Yo, he was fucking slick as fuck.
Yeah.
He was fucking.
He was fucking.
Bruv, like... Oh, God. Yeah, just so many stories of like stuff that he did for people and things like that, and the way that he geared his show. Because that's the reason why, like, I don't know much about, like, you know, that Tom Hanks film coming out, Mr. Rogers. Like, apparently he was just as pure, just as nice. And I'm just like, but again, you know, just as nice off the camera as on it and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, you know, I wish I knew a bit more about him.
I started watching Saving Private Ryan last night, and just the man's voice is just fucking excellent.
Wait, what?
Tom Hanks.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Mr. Rogers. I was like, he wasn't in Saving Private Ryan.
Can you imagine him in Saving Private Ryan?
Hello there.
This little fella's called a gun.
Howdy, neighbor.
We use this to kill the crowds.
Now look at you there, little German. You don't want to do this. You're having a bad day.
I think you better run away before something bad happens to you.
I don't want to give you an ass whooping. But I will give you an ass whooping.
I won't call in that airstrike. But if I have to.
Yeah, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is a guy living in fear.
You're a Nazi now. You shouldn't be. Go on.
I live in fear of Tom Hanks, of stuff ever coming out about Tom Hanks. Apparently, someone was saying, the missus was saying, I think that something did come out once, but like it just kind of went away.
But he was just nice, too nice. Whoever the accuser was just like, oh, I can't do this to you.
But this is the problem. Like, I'm sure there's people there that are on telly and on our radios now that we love, that are doing some fucking atrocities.
Absolutely.
And it just makes me really, really like, oh God, who can I trust?
Yeah, who do I get attached to?
Exactly, that's it. Who do I get attached to? Because I can't go through the hurt.
Are we safe with Chappelle?
I kind of feel like if he has done anything,
I feel like he's
kind of expect it. Like nothing too weird. Nothing too weird.
This is what I was just about to say. He's too honest for anything mad to come out about him.
I mean, obviously we had the whole like his war with transgender people. There was that.
It's not a war, was it?
It was a war.
It's just people being overly sensitive.
It was a war with that one woman. That one woman that stood up at his show. That was fucking hilarious. The one that like had to get escorted out of his show. That was great.
A tit fuck is a tit fuck or something like that.
Yeah,
well, he had,
yeah. It took someone back to his room.
He had nice feet. Or
something. took someone back to his room. Now I think we're pretty safe with Chappelle. To be honest, like when he got his Netflix specials, it would have come out then.
Yeah,
it would have. Like it's
and the only thing that came out then was people saying how offensive he is.
Yeah, which you know we've always known. No, but I think because before he was more of a storyteller. It was more of social commentary rather than talking about things directly. I think he's more direct now.
Yeah.
And I guess probably because he doesn't have those stories anymore. You know, like he's elite people now. He's not out there in the world doing stuff to give him those stories. Like, so he's just talking about what he knows, and that's the stuff that he sees every day. But I mean, he's always kind of been on the nose. It just wasn't really directed at people. Well, directed to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
This was your wish, not mine. But yeah, it's hard to
Get
know.
me in a room with Chucky Chuckle.
I only kind of want to meet him. I grew up with Michael Jackson's height.
You don't remember Thriller?
I mean, I wouldn't break an appointment. All right, so final point. Something that people have been talking about a lot, and I've been listening to a couple podcasts and stuff. I feel I was watching the debate on Sky Sports or whatever. The whole Jurgen Klopp not turning up to the FA Cup replay and not playing any of his senior players. People are losing their fucking mind. He's disrespecting. He's got a squad. He's allowed to pick anybody. Like, what do you think of it? What do you think?
I think there's two ways to look at it.
Yeah.
He's entitled to pick
Your left
whatever.
eye with your right eye. No.
Yeah, close one eye. Camera one.
Camera
two. There's two ways of looking at it.
Is that Wayne's World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's entitled to pick whatever team he wants. But he's the manager of Liverpool's first team.
Okay.
So at most he should be there. He's going on about it being a winter break or a mid-season break.
Yeah.
That should apply to managers as well. He's not running up and down the pitch for 90 minutes.
Yeah, but dude, you can't tell me that like as a manager you are constant. Like this guy is planning. He's planning what he's doing now. He's planning what he's doing next week. He's planning what he's doing next season. And mentally, it's there.
In addition to that, he was saying something. I'm paraphrasing, but along the lines of when you're playing, when you field under 23s or you field like reserve team players, you have a week with them to prepare. In this case, that's not going to happen. The under 23s coach.
Yeah, the Neil Critchlow. Yeah,
he has them in preparation, so he should be the one to take it.
Oh, I see what you mean, because he knows the players and stuff like that. Yeah, because he's
so
fielding a complete
he knows the
team.
players, and he knows he's preparing it himself. It'll be out of order just to hand it off to Jurgen Klopp just because he's the first team manager.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I kind of see that point begrudgingly because, like I said before, he's a fucking arsehole. And again, a little bit painfully on his side, the FA were aware that this was going to be a mid-season break. So why are they scheduling a replay during that time?
And this is my point because, and like he said, the FA were very clear to them saying like, do not have any games during this time. There will be no competitive fixtures. Do not organise any friendlies. Do not play. Do not do anything. Just go and take that time. And then they're just like, oh no, we've changed our mind. You're playing a fixture.
You couldn't get through to the next round in the first go. Play again. You're going to have to play again.
Here, yeah. And for me, I don't think he's not doing this because he genuinely doesn't want to. He doesn't want to coach that team and doesn't want to put that team. Of course, he'd want to go through. He wants to win. But this is his form of protest, and I'm like, if that's his form of protest because he's been very vocal about the schedule. And footballers is like it is a fucking long schedule. Like it's a long old schedule, especially when you bring in like fucking what they have to do in the summertime and stuff like that. And yeah, so like if you want to, and it's a good way to protest. It's a good way to protest. And I don't like people just he's disrespecting the FA Cup. Like people play kids all the time.
Shut up.
People play kids all the fucking time. Shrewsbury have got their replay. They're gonna make a load of money from it. Gives them a chance to go through.
And I'm not mad at them because the next round they're playing Chelsea.
There you go. Yeah. So you want Shrewsbury to win, right? Exactly. So. If anything, it's good because Shrewsbury get through. They get to another round. They get a payday from playing Chelsea. Yeah. And
if they beat Liverpool, it's more fuel for the tabloids and the headline makers.
Exactly. And at the end, like in 2 years, who's going to remember that?
Exactly.
Like,
in 2 years, you're giving it 2 years.
No, yeah, it'll be way longer, like way shorter than that. Like, yeah.
End of the season.
And the thing is, like, as well, if they do win, if Liverpool do win and go through, then you were chatting shit the whole time.
Yeah.
And I get it. And I can't wait for them to get. And I hope they get knocked out of the FA Cup. Like that would be great. But and then what was it? Yeah, when I was listening to Danny Mills, he's like, yeah, but he needs to watch them play. They want to impress the manager. Mate, have you not fucking heard of video recordings? You do know that there is a chance and a way that you can go back and watch games now.
When they play is the only chance you get to see.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't Sunday League.
Yeah. And also, like, I'm pretty sure he watches them play anyway. And the thing is,
even if he doesn't, someone does on his behalf.
Yeah. There's probably not enough time in the day for him to watch every single under 23 player and see how they do. But I'm sure he'll watch the game footage. He'll be making his plans. Who can come in? Who can come out? And I just think it's and like I say, it's a protest, and when we protest, people aren't happy. So it's just, I think it's a clever way of doing it. I think it's a very clever way of making your point.
You agreed with something Paul Merson said.
Oh gosh, what was Paul Merson? Yeah, no, it was pretty much along those lines. Paul Merson was making great points throughout the whole thing. Like I wanted to hang myself.
I find, as stupid as he is, he does make some good points sometimes.
I think when he's talking about things around the game, he makes very good points. His in-game stuff isn't great, but he is talking about that, and he was like, because he was saying as well, like, you don't know what plans Jurgen Klopp has made for that time. You don't know what plans Jurgen Klopp made. Maybe because he was talking. Obviously, what did he manage? He managed Wolves, right? Way back when Merson managed that Wolves. Walsall, sorry, not Wolves, Walsall.
I'll always remember that because when he got interviewed very immediately after he was appointed, he was like, he was talking about it being a challenge, and his message was, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and it's going to be challenging. Literally said that. Is it going to be a challenge, Paul?
Nah, I don't think so. No. But yeah, he was just saying, like, you don't know what his plans were, like, for the team and what he was doing in this. Like I say, he's been given a very clear message. Like, this week, this time, what is it, like a week and a half or whatever, is blocked out. Don't do anything except maybe some training, maybe a bit of warm weather training. Don't travel to America, don't travel to the Far East, don't go too far. And then all of a sudden they've just put, like, if you were in your actual job and somebody did that to you, you'd be fucking pissed. They'd be like, oh yeah, oh no, we're changing it. And also he's like, yeah, we don't know. Maybe he set some time aside to spend with his family. Yeah. It's like, because it's like, within that 2 weeks, you could probably get like 3 or 4 days of downtime. He's like, maybe he has promised his family he's going to go away, spend some quality time with them. Maybe he's got some plans to go do, like, it could be fucking with his shit. Like,
it's vintage English running of things.
Yeah.
Where they say, we've blocked this period out. There's going to be no football. You're going to have a break that you've been clamouring for.
Yeah.
Forever. Oh, you didn't get through. Oh, you're going to have to play during that time.
And again, it's an like.
What is wrong with playing a week after or a week before?
What is wrong with having the dates earmarked beforehand? Like, you could have been like, look, if you have to do any replay, like, the only thing that's going on these times is if you don't get through, you're gonna have to play a replay.
I would imagine. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but I would imagine the fourth round is quite a lot of matches.
They get replayed.
A couple of them are bound to.
Yeah. I mean, any round, like, you're gonna get at least one replay. Any round. Yeah. So you'd be like, well, we've blocked off these dates for the replays, so we're giving you that time off. Which, by the way, it's not a winter break. It's an international break. They wouldn't give it if they didn't fucking need to. Like, they wouldn't give it. Like, the FA are going on like, well, you've been complaining you want a winter break here. Like, you get a week and a half.
I guess so, yeah.
It's not even really a winter break. They're just kind of throwing it like that because people don't like it. Yeah, but what would be wrong in saying, like, look, there's going to be no games between this time except if you... Because, like, for all intents and purposes, it was just dropped. Yeah, like I say, it was just dropped on them. Like, just do it a week later. Yeah. Or just get, get rid of replays.
Yeah,
people have been complaining about it.
There's been calls for that as well.
The only reason I'd say not to get rid of replays is because, but I think there's a solution for it. Obviously, when you have a team like a Shrewsbury or lower league teams, a replay is more revenue for them. They get a chance to go to, the big club's ground. My thing is, when you do the FA Cup draw, forget home and away. Instantly play at the bigger club's ground so they can get the money. That's it. Like, if they want, because like a lot of teams, like you get it with a lot of lower league teams, they say that to be honest, not that they don't give a fuck about going through to the next round, but they're like, what we are looking forward to is the boost in revenue and numbers of fans that this is going to give us. So
and the face time as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're going to get out there. Some of their players are going to, somebody might be watching their players. They get a good price for them, help some players' careers. So when you draw the FA Cup,
in the Champions League all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got, all right, Liverpool versus Shrewsbury. Bam, it's at Anfield. Done.
Yuri Jarosik.
Oh, fucking hell.
So Chelsea played Spartak Moscow.
Yeah.
He played for them. And then come January, they signed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, mate.
I didn't notice.
Yeah. But that's, as soon as the rounds are drawn, it goes to the bigger team. And, you can complain about, like, oh, but then they've got home advantage and stuff. But like I say, most of those lower league teams don't give a fuck. They want to play at the big stadiums.
And we're talking about teams that there are divisions apart. There's no such thing as a home advantage.
I mean, you look, all right, like, to all intents and purposes, this Shrewsbury result was an anomaly. It was.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think you're giving them much more of a disadvantage by them playing away. What they've got to gain is a lot more than what they've got to lose.
The old transfer window closes on Friday.
Ye old transfer window?
It's
been a shit transfer window anyway.
Been dead, isn't it?
It's been dead.
Apart from today, there's been a couple of signings today.
No, there's been some movement. I think Tottenham signed Bergwijn?
Yeah.
Bergwijn?
Berwigan.
Bergwijn.
Someone who is being kept out of the Dutch national team by Ryan Babel.
Yeah, but Ryan Babel's in a renaissance, mate. Ryan Babel is Ryan Babel is in a renaissance, bro. Bro, you saw what he did for Fulham last season.
Fucking
What
dickhead.
a fucking legend, bro. He was banging for Fulham last. Like, I genuinely watched a few Fulham games purely to see what he would do, and like,
Ryan Babel.
bruv, he was killing it. Because I remember when he got back into the Dutch team, I was like, really?
Word.
Then I watched a couple of Dutch games. I was like, all right.
Word.
And then he went to Fulham, and I was like, he's doing bits. He's actually doing bits of Fulham. But yeah, I don't care about the transfer window anymore.
I've got 3 days to care about it. 2 days.
Yeah, because it closes on Friday.
It closes on Friday, and Chelsea, who are in desperate need of players, yet there has been absolutely zero movement.
But this is the thing, and this is the thing that I realise as well when you're talking about like anything like, and no, it's you know, do need players thingy like, but it's also business, and if business isn't right, you can't do it just for the sake of it. Because we don't know what goes on behind the. All right, so say for instance Chelsea need a striker, and they see fucking I don't know what's that Vinicius Junior, right? And Chelsea want him. First of all, we have no way of knowing if that is genuine interest or if it's the papers just chatting shit. From the start, we don't know that. B, if it is, and they're like, oh, they can't agree on a price, we don't know how that agreement goes. Because you're like, oh, just pay the money and get it done.
Yeah.
If they're saying, oh yeah, we'll pay you 20 million, and then Real Madrid are saying like, no, it has to be 50 million, and they don't deem it to be worth 50 million, and the most they'll come up to is like 30, 35. 35 and 50 is still a big fucking way apart. So if it doesn't get done, like, oh, you should just pay the money. Like, if you were there haggling with someone over price and you were that far apart, you would not pay that money. Like, if you could afford it, you would. And again, we don't know what the coffers of these teams are like as well.
Chelsea had, apart from the Kovacic mystery that he was suddenly signed.
That just went, just whoop.
They had Eden Hazard money to spend.
But do they have Eden Hazard money to spend?
And then they don't have. And then they had a summer of not signing anyone.
Yeah.
They're halfway through a season where at least 20 shots a game, apart from the few games where they've been absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
At least 20 shots a game. No one's putting them away. Tammy Abraham isn't that guy. Admittedly, he's done much better than I thought he would.
Yeah, but he's not.
He's not clinical enough. They need someone.
Yeah.
For Chelsea to succeed, they need to be in the Champions League at minimum. They need someone to score those chances. Imagine if someone was in that team putting away at least half of them.
But that's the other thing as well. Like you say, they got that Hazard money. Do they? Because like, again, it's a business. That like there's costs involved in running that business. So it's not the case of like, well, how much was Hazard? How much did they sell Hazard for?
100 million.
100 million. It's not like we've sold him for 100 million. Now we've got 100 million there. There's debts for paying for other players because teams hardly play for players up front now. You've got running costs, operation costs, and also you have got the risk of buying somebody that does not work out. If you were, so say for instance they did take that 100 million, be like, yo, we got Hazard money, took the 100 million, and somehow they managed to get Mbappe for that 100 million, and he doesn't work out.
So my point being, my counter for that is, because I've been thinking about this quite a lot.
Okay.
There were 2 players that were sold because the manager didn't want them. One of them, the manager, I will just blip out of history because he was an absolute cunt. Sorry. Fabregas and Costa.
Yep.
2 players that, had it not been for the managers not wanting them, they would still be banging for Chelsea. But again,
completely because obviously they want like
and it
he didn't want them because
they were 2 players that proven to have worked.
Yeah, proven to have worked, but are they proven to have worked in his system? Like Fabregas, probably. I'm saying Fabregas most definitely, probably. Costa
Diego Costa was such a finisher.
Yeah, but his last season at Chelsea, was he still banging?
Yes.
Was he still banging?
Yes.
I feel like he wasn't even. Like when he fell out with, didn't Conte sell him?
Conte sold him because he didn't want him.
Yeah.
They
won
won the league, and literally, like the next few days after, he texts him saying, "I don't want you anymore."
Yeah, and again, but we don't know. Like, there has to be a reason.
They won the league
that.
with him being the main striker.
Yeah, but there has to be a reason for that. You don't sell the guy that's banging 30 goals for no reason. There has to be a reason. Whether he's like, I can't work with you, you're not doing what I say, this, that, or the other, there has to be a reason. And fair enough. Like, all right, you won the league.
you're
You won the league, but then is it something that he felt was going to grow and become unmanageable?
If you're selling him because doesn't fit into your plans, yeah, and he's still scoring 20 plus goals.
Yeah, but that's not your like. Again, that's not your system. Like, that's not your system. Like, that is like managers. Each manager has their certain blueprint. Like certain strikers, midfielders, or whatever. Like, there's certain players that are banging right now that probably wouldn't fit into a Pep Guardiola team. Does Pep Guardiola change what he's been doing all these years to fit that player in? Like, that's like, people have their way of doing things. People have their way of managing. Like, if you're a manager of a team in an office,
but you're talking about a striker who, for example, if we're talking for a striker, if he's banging goals for a team, and Pep Guardiola is looking for a striker, you're saying, does he change his whole system for that striker? That's all well and good, but Diego Costa was in a team that was working for him, but for some reason the manager didn't want him.
Yeah, and I'm saying that maybe that was off the pitch stuff. Maybe that was off the because everything on the pitch was working.
Conte's gone now.
Yeah, but no one could have seen that. No one could have seen that.
Sarri's gone now. That's not an issue anymore.
What? So bring him back.
Bring him back.
Does he want to come back?
Why not?
Who told you he wants to come back?
He's not playing well for Atletico.
Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
Fabregas is fucking rotting in the French league.
Oh yeah, he is. Nah.
I can't be the only person who's thinking this.
I mean, we could eulogise about this all day, but like I say, like, you need to be more on the inside to see things about this. And
of course,
we've gone on way too long.
Of course, we don't know everything.
Yeah, but no,
we're talking about from
what we see. Yes, and like I say, we can eulogise about it all day because we have no definitives. But I mean, it was an enjoyable conversation, but we've probably gone on for a while now. But I think that's all for this week, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had a few gripes I wanted to get off my chest, but I don't know if we can.
Nah, wait, what kind of gripes? Can we gripe about them next week?
Well, I'll have forgotten about.
Well, then they're not worth talking about. Fuck you.
But it's me getting them off my chest now.
All right.
And then I can listen back to it and think, oh, should I have said that?
Mate, I fucking what are they called? Listening dog.
Listening dog?
Service animal, whatever the fuck they are. What are they called? Comfort animals or whatever.
I think it's a service animal.
It's a service animal, yeah. Fucking talk to that.
Talk to a dog and it just looks at you.
Yeah, because dogs are stupid as fuck.
Where's my food?
Stupid fucking dogs.
Fuck dogs. I mean...
Mate, I'll tell you what.
Wait, whoa.
Hot take here. Hot take. I think bestiality should be legal.
Hold up. This is the opinion of Flows and not Talk Amongst Yourselves podcast.
You know why? No, but you know why? Think about it, right? You know why? Think about it, right? Me, myself, I'm a meat eater. I'm a proud meat. I will sit there, I'll eat meat with every meal. So I'm all for people killing animals to eat them. That's like the worst thing you could do to them. If I'm for the worst thing you could do to an animal, how can I be against something that's not as bad? Dude, would you rather someone kill you or fuck you? Which one?
Are you sure you want this in?
Mate, I don't want to fuck animals, but I'm just saying, I can't... As somebody...
People who want to should be allowed to.
People that want to should be allowed to, because the animals will enjoy it a hell of a bit more than being slaughtered for fucking steak.
I mean, to be fair, if you want to fuck an animal, you're gonna fuck an animal, whether it's legal or not.
Yeah, no, it's true. I had a friend who her aunt owned horses, and they caught a dude fucking one of their horses in the field one time.
Wow.
They didn't manage to catch him. Like, no.
He jumped on its back.
Rode it away. Literally rode it
away.
No, but like, yeah, they came out and he was fucking the horse, and then like he ran away. But like that was one of the most hilarious stories I've ever heard.
Oh. What's this?
A little privacy, please.
Close the door.
Me and Mr. Ed are having like alone time.
Granny, don't.
Granny, don't. But yeah, I don't think in all good conscience I can advocate the slaughtering of animals, but yet still think it's wrong to fuck them.
To seduce and caress them.
What is worse, having sex with someone or killing them?
Depends on your method and technique.
What technique is as bad as killing someone? You need to work on your stroke game, bruv.
All right. This is horrible.
I'm bleeding.
This is so painful. I'm talking about putting someone to sleep like a dog and then fucking it. No, I'm talking about putting someone to sleep or ravaging someone or something to the point where you're injuring it.
Who told you that people that fucking animals are injuring them?
You don't know.
I don't know, but they can't all.
Don't you know?
They can't all be injuring them.
You don't know.
Maybe, but still.
You don't
and they don't put animals to sleep, do they? I mean, they give them a fucking old stunner and stuff like that.
There's probably a reason animal sex only lasts seconds, because it's unbearable to them.
No, they say pig orgasms last for like a half hour. They don't fucking lock in with their little curly willies.
Yeah, but they're not in there.
They're in there
The whole
they
time.
fucking lock in, mate. They lock in.
They're not.
Who's spanking animals? Who's fucking animals and spanking? Animals don't even have asses, like not like people do.
They have hinds.
Yeah, exactly. All right, maybe a horse, like you probably like bang, 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 but like,
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Do you know why I brought the gripes up?
What?
It's not even me mentioning it now. It's going to be weird.
Go on.
Because I've had this thing on my mind all day. I got a message today that little man was in trouble at school because of some other little rotten shit who's a bad influence. And it's just pissed me off because the amount of times we've told him to just stay away from this kid. And his family's a bunch of wrong-uns.
Mate, yeah, go on, anyway.
I think it's finally sunk in now, but it was like...
Yeah, but it took him getting into trouble, right?
It took him getting into trouble.
He has to learn the lesson for himself.
Because apparently he was really upset with it. And it's just this family. I mean, they've told us that he's never even met the kid's never even met his dad.
Oh, the other kid, yeah.
The fact that you're saying that out loud to other people...
Wait, who told them? Who said that? The mum? Or the school?
The mum's sister.
Why is she in it?
This is another thing. They're all weird. They're all weirdly together. They're all weirdly close together. Like you don't see one without the other sometimes.
Has the kid got 5 hands?
No, he's got fucking massive head. You little cunt, I fucking hate him. Fucking, I'm gonna say his name.
You can call him every name under the sun as long as it's not his real name.
I'm talking about a 7-year-old, but he deserves it.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Don't mention the name. You can go off on a 7-year-old as long as we don't know who it is.
I can bleep it out after.
Well, like it's like a fucking rap album, like when they always mention someone's name and then they bleep it out. Like beep, did the murder.
Yeah, but like I said, mentioning it now on the backdrop of
bestiality.
Is it bestiality or bestiality?
Well, I don't think it's the best. It's bestiality because you're fucking
bestiality.
beast.
It's the best.
Bestiality, more like bestiality. Give me some of that donkey pussy.
Let me inseminate that cow the natural way.
I'll show her my mad cow disease.
I ain't going with that's a mad cow. I go with these normal cow pussy.
Stay at home and chill with my monkey. All right. We always, when it comes time to say goodbye, we always take an extra 10, 15 minutes.
Because we don't want to say goodbye.
We don't.
Because it's been fun.
Love you.
It's been fun.
We love you, people. We love caressing your ears with our dulcet tones.
All in your ear holes.
ASMR.
Whisper nonsense. Titties. Soy sauce. Chet Hanks. Yes! I forgot about him. Forgot about him.
Bitches. All right. No, let's cut
now
this.
we
Let's cut this. Now we can go. We've fulfilled our mission.
Yeah, battery's running.
Hit up the socials.
It's Talk Amongst Pod on Twitter with the hashtag Talk Amongst Yourselves Pod. You can email us like Flo's mum at talkamongstpod@gmail.com. Are we going to do others? Are we going to do Insta and that? I
think we'll get to it when we have something to show. I think well, in the next couple of weeks, let's take a look at it.
Okay, Twitter and email for now. But until next time, love you, bye.
Peace.